Hello, we are live. Welcome to the SLOB show. Hello, Roker.
Yay. What's
I
up?
think we're live everywhere. We should be good right now. Let's see. Yes, we're live. Hello, Dr. Perry Falls on Instagram. First one in on Instagram. So Roker, the World Series is going on right now. And
Yes.
It's 5-5 right now.
Oh.
So the Yankees were winning big and the Dodgers came back. You know what's funny? You saw that asshole, right? The interference guy?
The one who caught or tried to take the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove in yesterday's game.
He didn't try. He did it.
No, but like literally, like if you haven't seen it, go online and look at it. Like literally, Mookie Betts goes over, foul ball into the crowd, catches it, and this guy literally is wrestling the ball out of his glove.
And then the other guy grabbed his other hand.
It was very, I don't know why there's not more of an uproar about this.
Well, it's everywhere.
It's not as everywhere. It's not, people are talking about it, but people aren't talking about how uncivilized this is.
Well, it's the opposite, which I thought, I want to bring this up because I thought it was kind of messed up. I was saying today, this guy is the male Hawk Tua. Like this guy, I promise you, he was already at like Barstool today. He was doing interviews. Everyone at Yankee Stadium was wearing T-shirts that said, "Don't come in our house," with that guy's face on it. This is crazy. This guy who interfered I promise you, in the next 3 months, he'll be a millionaire.
If it happens at Yankee Stadium, right? Like Jeffrey Mayer 20 years ago, the kid that actually reached out into the field of play and brought a home run, pulled a home run out like a Jeter, went over the fence with his glove into the field of play and caught the ball, and it got called a home run for the Yankees. Hero. If it were to happen at Sox Park, we'd be the lowest form of scum.
Oh yeah,
in the country.
Exactly. But this guy, I'm telling you,
Yankees and it's New York, everybody loves it.
I'm telling you, this guy is going to make $1 million, which is crazy. He's going to have a podcast. Did you see he's friends with Gronk?
Well, every asshole has a podcast.
But did you see exactly like us? Did you see though that he's friends with Gronk? Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch that. But
this is hilarious. It's so random. Of course, listen to this. Gronk, of course, knows this guy.
This is actually the first time I'm seeing this live. Okay. And here's a little fun fact. That guy right there grabbing Mookie Betts' glove was my friend in college.
Gronk, stop it, right?
Of course.
He was on the ice hockey team, the club Arizona Wildcats team, ice hockey team. And let me tell you, the whole hockey team, they were absolute maniacs. They were undescribable, just how wild.
Animals.
Yes, he is all in for the Yankees. I remember him talking about the Yankees all the time, how he loves them so much, and that describes him perfectly. Just doing whatever it takes to help his team out. But he's a beauty.
Okay,
he is a beauty.
Okay,
I just want to say congratulations for shining when your moment came.
This is Gronk. Can you imagine if someone jumped on the field and grabbed Gronk's arm when he was trying to score a touchdown?
Right.
That's the problem. Because
exactly.
Kevin Gumball O'Malley just said he retired Bartman. Bartman was the complete opposite. Bartman just tried to catch a ball and he became vilified. This guy actually did something horrible and people love him. It's crazy.
So Bartman, if people remember, and it was a while ago now, and I was at that game, by the way. And so this was the game the Cubs were 5 outs away from making it to the World Series. Mark Pryor, the pitching coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers now, by the way. Mark Pryor was on the mound for the Cubs, 1 out, and then a foul ball into the stands at Wrigley, and Bartman tries to catch the foul ball, but Moises Alou, for the first time in his life, actually tried to catch a ball and went into the stands to grab it. And basically Bartman kept him from grabbing the ball when Alou went into the stands.
Not really, though. The Bartman thing, there were 10 people who all put their hands towards
No,
that ball.
right. I mean, but it happened to be, as a matter of fact, and we talked about this on our show on the game with John Taffer, because the guy next to him owned one of the bars. I can't think of the name of it now in Chicago, and ended up getting bar rescued. It was
and he was one of the assholes talking shit about Bartman, but when you look at the replay, he was like going right towards it.
But it could have easily been him, right? It was because everyone was going for that ball. So, and by the way, I was at that game, and I've never like felt a crowd like turn.
Yeah.
Like, I know they had to like escort Bartman out for his own safety.
Yeah.
And they had to escort him out for his safety. He would have been torn to shreds. It was like really,
it was ridiculous.
Kind of scary. It was scary.
And here's the thing about Bartman too. He had multiple chances to become famous based on this. He wanted nothing. All they did was ruin Bartman's life. He had to move. I think he moved to another state. He didn't want to talk about it. When the Cubs won the World Series in 2016, they offered to bring him back. He said no. The Marlins offered him season tickets after it happened. Like, Bartman really got fucked in the situation.
The Cubs ended up giving him a ring. They did give him a ring. I don't know if he accepted it, but
I don't think he accepted it. I don't think he accepted
it. He never made a dime. He never wrote a book, did an interview, was on 60 Minutes, nothing.
No.
Never. But
he's
again,
the
now here's the thing. That was 21 years ago. Had that happened last night, he would have had multiple, more opportunities to
he'd be on like TikTok,
right? Exactly. But you got to give Bartman props for not exploiting the situation.
Hello. There we go. The slob of the week is none other than the man who's done 1,000 episodes of his podcast, Cark and Carne. We were just talking about Steve Bartman. This is the legend, James Van Osdale. What up, James? And our boy.
And your boy. What a distinct honor to be slob of the week. I've never been more proud.
We are honored. How many Cark and Carnes has there been now? 1,003?
I just recorded 2 new ones, so I'm at 1,002. Yeah.
1,002. So we've only got 900 to go, Abe.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're there.
And we've been doing the slob show. Like, we looked it up a few weeks ago. Like, Roker and I averaged something like, I don't know, 10 episodes a year based on when we started.
He did like more in a week than we did in a year.
Yeah.
Like during the pandemic. Incredible.
During COVID, I think he did 700 episodes.
I did 200 over that year and a half. Now, I've said from the get-go to both of you guys, like, the slob show should be like your full-time jobs. Like, this is such a fantastic thing. You're providing a public service. It's really good. Like, I want more slob show. I think this is such a perfect
that.
Well, we deliver once a week sometimes.
The world needs more slob show.
Yes, and it's live and on time 10% of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never on time. Hey, at least we've made it Wednesdays at 9:15ish Chicago time,
which is the time everyone wants to, tune into a podcast.
All right, so I'm going to share this from Abe's social, right? So, do I want to share this?
I don't know what you're sharing.
As long as it's not mine.
The live feed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I thought you meant you're sharing something with us right now.
No.
Oh yeah.
Share the broadcast. Let everyone can enjoy it.
That's right. Look at that.
I missed you this year, James, at Riot Fest. I was very sad.
I know. I was out of town.
You would not be in attendance. It's usually the only time of the year I get to see you.
We do a man hug, and
we do
a sweaty in a dirt field man hug.
Yes.
Wait, hang on. I'm slob of the week.
That's right.
On the Slob Show.
Exclamation point. There you go.
Watch here. Share now.
So James, your mission today, of course, but let's chop it up a few more minutes before we get to your top 5 food places. So why didn't you go to Riot Fest this year?
I was out of town.
Oh,
yeah. I physically was not in the state of Illinois. Otherwise,
I was at
would've gone.
Aftershock here, which is have you been to Aftershock ever?
I have never been, but I saw all your pictures and videos. There's not a rock band you didn't talk to while you were there.
It was well, so we had this they built us this air conditioned mobile studio. So like everyone else, I swear to you, was sitting. Well, I think it's kind of the same thing at Ride Fest. They were sitting outside in the hot sun at picnic tables, and then we had this beautiful trailer, air conditioned. It had a bar, built-in microphones. It had a guitar. Like we had everything. So when you're
at Riot Fest is amenity free for the media. Absolutely, it is picnic tables. It is
Barely.
right behind the stage. So I mean, unless you have headphone amps, like your guests can't actually hear you talk. It is about as no frills as you can imagine. The opposite of your experience.
Well, but that's how it was at Aftershock. Besides us, so you think about all the bands. It's like you can either go in this air conditioned trailer or sit here amongst 200 people in the hot sun. Maybe they have a chair you could sit on. You'll probably have to lean up against a fence. Like that's kind of like what we were dealing with. So it's like we got everything. Of course,
it looked awesome. It looked awesome.
Yeah, no, it was great. And now, so we have this mobile trailer now, and they're talking about bringing it to Sick New World in Vegas next year, which Metallica, Linkin Park. That's pretty cool. Maybe Riot Fest.
Which brings up a question that I have for you, JVO, radio veteran that you are. What has been your favorite music festival to attend?
Oh, it's Riot Fest. Hands down. Just musically, it's more aligned with what I'm into. That's it. And getting there sucks. It's never a pleasure.
Oh, God.
I was actually okay with moving to Bridgeview, which was the plan up until the 11th hour. But once you're inside, it's awesome. Getting to the park is hell on earth. Once you're there, it's fantastic.
Getting there and leaving there is brutal.
Yes.
You will get your steps in.
Oh my God, yeah. But no, I love Riot Fest. I haven't been to Lollapalooza since 2006.
Wow.
Well, they haven't had a lineup really that we would.
They haven't had. I
that's it.
You know how it's like. I think I turned into my father or something like that. That's when the Lollapalooza lineup comes out every year. I'm like, I don't want to see any of these people.
Yeah, no, I hear people say that every year when Lollapalooza is announced, like, oh, you're just too old. No, what if the lineup is just too pop? And what if it just sucks? What if it's just Walmart by the lake? Both things can be true. I could be a man in my 50s, but I can also listen to cool new music and think Lollapalooza is not the place to hear cool new music.
Yeah.
Three things are true.
I agree with that because they don't care anymore at Lollapalooza for rock fans. Now, but I get it. I understand. I mean, if you want these little girls from the suburbs, they're not going to come see a young rock band. They want to see the pop bands. I mean, they even have the what's the Korean pop called?
K-pop.
Oh, whatever.
God. But look at you just mentioned Aftershock. That was a killer lineup. Sick New World next year. Amazing lineup. Yeah. I could list half a dozen festivals that either happened this year or have been announced that I'd love to go and see.
Yeah. Riot Fest had Slayer, Slipknot, Pantera, Five Finger Death Punch, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest.
By the way, I just saw Maiden last week for my however many time. They're so good. They're still the best of the best.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Iron Maiden, I saw them at the United Center in 2022. That was the best Maiden show I've ever been to. The set list was crazy.
Yeah.
They played, so I saw the same set you saw when I was at Aftershock. And even though I like the new album, they played 33% of their set from the new album.
Yeah, I think this was a challenging set list. Yeah. The way they generally do it is they do one tour cycle supporting the most recent album, then the other tour cycle is just a hit fest. This is the album cycle. So it was Senjutsu and Somewhere in Time. So, the album from mid 80s, the new album, it was not for the casual fan by any means. On a related note, Allstate Arena, hands down, the worst place to see live music in America. Simply based on the seat width. There is no way to not just sit shoulder to shoulder with whomever you're next to. Doesn't matter who it is. You have no choice. You can't squirm out of it. You are packed in there right next to your neighbor.
It's like Wrigley Field before the renovation. It's like 100%. 1930 butt size for the seats. You know what I mean? Which is why we had our show there every year.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
No,
Maiden is
and
still
horrible
the
acoustic.
absolute. I hold him in the highest regard. Bruce Dickinson's voice, the dude had throat cancer, still
Yeah.
holds up, is as good as it gets. Even on the off cycles like this set list, they still are. You could walk away thinking that was the best show I ever saw, even though I didn't hear Run to the Hills or Flight of Icarus or whatever.
That's the thing. It's like when I feel like if you play a festival, though, you should like they're playing the same. Even Motley Crue played Aftershock. They're playing the same set list, whether they're at the Whiskey or they're at Aftershock.
Right.
Like you're at the Whiskey, you play deep cuts. Like you have your 300 hardcore fans. Like I saw Metallica at the Metro. They played a different set list. They played like that. What year was that? The year like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
they played the Metro. They played a bunch of deep cuts that you would never hear. And was it when they were at Lollapalooza? So then at Lollapalooza, it was a completely different set list. When you play a festival, I feel like you have to play more hits.
I generally agree with that. Maiden is I swear to God, they're the only band that breaks that rule and can get away with it. But
yeah,
for the other 99%, the other 99% of the bands, I completely agree. For a general audience, you have to assume no matter which band you are, when you play a show, it's someone's first time seeing you. And you got to make the fans happy, but also make those other people feel welcome, like they made the right decision.
Right.
Let me ask you guys this, because I've seen and I know you have too. I don't know if you have, James. If you saw the original Pantera, right? Live?
No, I didn't.
You never did? Oh my God. So I saw the original Pantera probably 10 times live. And I know you've seen them, Roker.
I've not seen them in concert. I've been with them. And no.
You were at the Metallica or the Manco shows where Pantera played.
No, I understood, but I know the South Side kid, this black kid from the South Side. No, never really went to any Pantera shows.
But you were there on stage. What are you talking about?
Yes, but
you were in the closet with like a broom.
No, I never listened to the shows when I'm there or anything like that.
Yeah.
I met Vinny and Dimebag a million times, but as far as going to the show, but what's your point?
Wait, I'm just thinking of us at the Pantera strip club now, and you never saw them live ever, all those times.
Not that I can recall. No.
See, that's the thing about Roker. You could take Roker to like the Beatles reunion show with like the hologram of John Lennon, and he would sit in the back and just drink the free beer.
And if there were an open bar, I wouldn't see 5 seconds of it.
That's what I'm saying. If you could eat and drink it, like I remember, I specifically remember being at Lollapalooza with you, and Soundgarden were playing, and it was pretty close to when Chris Cornell died, and I'm like, you're like, oh, I'm just thinking about you're drinking whatever in the back. I'm like, you don't want to see Soundgarden? You're like, nah. Then he died. I went out and saw him. It was awesome. It was the last time I got to see Soundgarden.
But I can still tell everybody I was at Lollapalooza for Soundgarden. And I was.
You didn't see him.
I was there, man. I was there.
And Abe, you're talking about Lollapalooza. What a proud moment. I was at the venue where I was able to see Chris Cornell on a monitor because I was too fucking far away from the actual stage to see him perform. Like, oh, great. I mean, the people who watched on Hulu had the same experience.
That's true. But in this case, they had the media area where I walked right in front of the stage almost, because you come out of that media area and you were right by the stage. So in this case, I did get to see it.
That's another thing about media. Going back to Riot Fest, Roker, you've seen this at Riot Fest. They let anyone back there. Anyone who's published a word on the internet is a media person. I'm always astonished. There was a dude back there who, this was like 2 years ago, who wrote a book. It wasn't, I can't even say he wrote a book. He created a book of music-related crossword puzzles. And that was his media credential. He had a crossword puzzle book. And I'll never forget this. I was talking to Scott Lucas of Local H. This is in the media area. And this guy walks up to us and interrupts. He looks at Scott and says, "Are you someone famous?" And Scott's like, "Nah, man, no." He's like, No. You look like a rock star. Are you sure you're not someone famous? And Scott's like, "No, dude. Sorry." I'm like, "Hang on. He's just a little modest. Have you ever heard of Eve 6?" And to this day, I don't think Scott's quite forgiven me for that.
Yeah.
And that's a problem too, because then we all get lumped in with the crossword puzzle guy.
Exactly.
Yep.
So now when you do 3 or 4 of the crossword puzzle interviews, you're like, fuck these losers, right? You're back here, and then when someone wants to do a real interview, now they automatically they'll treat you like shit because they're used to those other crossword puzzle guys.
100%. And I'm there, to be fair, I'm doing like 10 to 12 interviews over the course of a weekend. I'm hustling. If I'm not recording an interview, I'm editing video or editing audio. And inevitably, the crossword puzzle guys always want to make small talk. As I'm doing that, I'm like,
exactly.
Bro, I'm here to work. I'm, cool. I'm glad you got your free Red Bull, but fuck off. I'm trying to get stuff done here.
We're trying to keep the standard up.
That's right.
For everyone. No, seriously, because we're hopefully the artist can walk away from one of our interviews not feeling like they just got interviewed by the crossword puzzle guy and that it's worthwhile to still do these things.
Yes, exactly. The crossword puzzle guy.
Before we get to James' top 5 food spots, because he's done 1,000 episodes of Car Con Carne. A lot of them aren't food related, but you've had a lot of food. I posted a thing on the SLOB Show Facebook group. Did you guys see a guy cuts a burrito like this way? Instead of in half, he cuts it right down the middle, like long ways. And they said that's the proper way to eat a burrito. And then Roker, your wife Claire, chimed in and she said, yes, that's the way you should eat a burrito, but you have to make sure it's crispy. Have you guys ever heard of this?
I've never seen that done.
And I actually had a burrito for dinner tonight, but didn't see that video until after I had eaten the burrito.
That's probably why she made it, so that you could cut it that way.
So yeah, cut it. So this guy saying cut it down the middle, and then you can dunk it in the sauce and eat it like a pita.
Exactly. Kinda. That makes me want to get a burrito tonight. That's the thing about California.
Doesn't that outside your house sell burritos?
Yeah, exactly. James,
this is the kind of breaking news that people turn to the SLOB Show for. This is why people
breaking news. Yes, this is breaking. Go ahead, James.
It's the longest he's waited ever to play that sounder ever. Just
happy to give you the trigger for that.
Yeah.
This is the SLOB Show difference. This is what sets you apart. the burrito coverage.
That's the awesome thing about California, James. There's just a dude set up like right by my work. They just make burritos. They have the al pastor, the spit out there. It's delicious. And the funny part is they're in front of 2 Mexican restaurants. Like, how pissed off would you be if you were in those like they're paying rent?
It's like a spite store.
Exactly. Like Larry David Spite store. That's exactly what it's like. But wouldn't you be pissed off if you have these guys just on the street and you have a real restaurant, like literally in front?
That happened in Chicago. You might remember a couple of years ago, there was a big to-do about food trucks in the city, and the Illinois Restaurant Association fought tooth and nail to keep food trucks off the streets in downtown Chicago and in the Loop because it was direct competition with the brick and mortars that they were parked in front of. There was a big issue between independent restaurant owners, food trucks, and the government. Basically,
it's really not fair, honestly, because you pay so much money to have that real estate downtown, and then just some guy could just park in front of your restaurant. That doesn't seem fair.
It's like someone doing a podcast and being more interesting than what's on terrestrial radio.
Exactly. That's not fair either. All right, let's get to it. The James Van Osdell top 5. Now, is this going to be your top 5 of all time, current? What are we looking at?
To clarify, you kind of said it. I'm not a foodie. Roker is a foodie. I'm not a foodie. I like food, just like the people in the SLOB Show group, the people who watch. So these are just places I like. They're pretty traditional places. The guy who had on last week actually said one I would have said, the Fish Keg in Evanston, which is awesome. It's like,
that was Corey. And Corey mentioned, he goes, oh, that's one of my idols, James Van Osdell. Did you catch that?
I missed that, but he talked about Fish Keg, which is great, which is like Hagen's on the Northwest side. I love that kind of stuff.
Everyone's got their kind of fish, whether or not it's Lawrence's or it's,
Lawrence's is great too. Love the cocktail. So, sweet baby Jesus, it's Base.
Just in time.
That's right.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys too. Damn.
Hey, Base, I noticed you shaved your beard off. Do you do it just for the SLOB Show today?
No, I for a Halloween
costume. I was just gonna say Halloween.
What are you dressing up with?
I decided to shave half my face off and the head and everything, and I was just this side right here. I had my beard and everything, and then I had to go to a funeral yesterday and had to
Oh
make
my
the
God.
decision
Wow.
to take it all off because I thought it might be a little bit insulting. So
That's
Just
a
put
bad
on a
time for
mask. Just put on a mask.
I would not have asked, but
Put
you
on
would
a
still
COVID mask.
see this all side of it. And I was like, I'll just shave the whole thing off. That's an easy
Base, you
compromise.
got here just in time for JVO's top 5. He actually started with that place Corey mentioned last week.
James, how are you?
Lovely to see you, Base. So wait, did you
really
say what your costume's going to be?
It was just supposed to be a Two-Face. That's it. It wasn't really like
he left half his beard on, and then he was going to wear like.
Oh no, I did half the beard, half the unshaved head. That was just the way I
So
wanted it.
it's a character of your own creation, is what you're saying.
And radio people we've worked with before.
Sure.
See, what people don't understand is that when you're a big guy, you're limited
Yes.
to what you can do for a Halloween costume.
Well, I
It's
saw Roker.
not like you
Roker
go
was
to the
CeeLo
Halloween
here.
costume store and pick something up. Yes, I went for CeeLo for the 15th straight year
Yeah.
Also,
in a
when
row.
you are-
Yes, I did.
Also, when you're a dad, your tolerance level for anything costume already goes down. And I've done the whole you wear a mask thing, but whenever you wear a mask within 5 minutes of being at any Halloween party, you want to take that thing off.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
look at that CeeLo.
This is Roker. Now Roker.
You gotta do it, man.
Now I dressed up. I don't know, 15 years ago, and went somewhere with Roker. He was wearing the same costume, and Roker doesn't care that CeeLo's been accused of rape. And, like it doesn't. CeeLo has been canceled now for 10 years. You couldn't care less because you know this is your best costume.
It's it. That's it. And the sucky part is, I don't know if you can see this. Some of the tattoos I still
This is
can't get off.
This is next year's
I don't
costume.
know if you can see
Steel?
this. There's still some tattoos on here
Oh,
that I can't get off.
Roker, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why do you feel when you dress up like CeeLo?
Yeah.
No one knows that he has tattoos on his chest. No, like every time you wear it, I'm like, what? Why? I'm like, what?
I commit. It's the detail. I know it's there.
I
But
feel
wait.
like I'm at a prison visitation. I'm watching Roker slowly undress across the screen from me. Like, are they treating me well? Everything okay?
Welcome to the SLOB Show, JVO. It's a little bit of everything.
You never
bud.
know what you're
A little
gonna
bit of
get.
everything.
It's a
You know what's
goulash.
crazy, James? It's funny you mentioned that because some lady called my show tonight and she said that her husband's in prison, and they basically go there and they get to like be with their husband for like 2 or 3 days. They just have sex. Yeah, in
Wow.
prison. They get those conjugal visits.
visits. Yeah.
That's
But for
crazy.
3 days?
She said 2 or 3 days. It's kind of like going to she's locked up with him, and he probably just bangs her the whole time. Isn't that crazy?
It's not the most romantic way to keep a marriage going, but sure, why not? Good for him.
Exactly. All right. So James, the first place was what's that fish place called again?
The fish keg.
But that was an honorable mention. You were going
honorable mention. Because,
Okay.
So again, I'm not a foodie. I'm just a guy who likes food. So I try to think about places that are affordable, all around. So I guess I'll just start. I love barbecue. I started my podcast, Carco and Carne, as a barbecue podcast. I don't get to the South Side as often as I could. So I'd love to tell you I go to Lem's all the time. I don't. It's awesome. So for me, I like barbecue from Hecky's in Evanston. It's
Hecky's? Never heard of that.
Hecky's is the closest thing to Southside barbecue that you can find north of downtown Chicago. So it's like 1900 Green Bay Road in Evanston. It is that classic Chicago barbecue, like done with an aquarium smoker, which means you can burn wood inside all year round, which is important in Chicago. The best thing for you on the SLOB Show that Hecky's does is an item on the menu called the Mutt. For $15, you get a hot link, 2 smoked wings, and a half pound of rib tips over a bed of French fries.
Damn.
Done.
Over the French fries. That's
Done.
pro.
Sold.
Deal of the century, the Mutt.
Sold. Those are two of my favorite things. The hot
Hey,
link and
Look
the
at this
rib
mutt.
Yeah, the tips are
That's
great.
pretty good. Dang.
It is the
I
closest.
do love rib tips.
Oh my God, they're the best. And this is the closest you'll get to authentic Chicago barbecue. Plenty of barbecue places, great ones in Chicago. Smoke is still, top dog. But I love going to Hecky's because it is that kind of authentic Depression barbecue experience.
If
James-
you end up finding yourself over on the South Side and you do go to Lem's, okay? Next time you go to Lem's, which may be the first time you go to Lem's. but
No,
if you
I've
end
been there a
up
few
going to
times.
Okay, you do the Bang Bang, you go to Lem's, then you go right across the street to Brown Sugar Bakery and get some caramel cake. Get a slice of
Ooh.
caramel cake.
If I do that, will you meet
in
me?
heaven? Absolutely.
Roker
Absolutely.
lives in Joliet now. He's not meeting you anywhere.
For food, I will.
For food, we'll travel.
That's
we'll
right.
travel.
That's
Wait,
right.
where's Lem's? I've never been there either. And where is it exactly? Like, what is it on, like 159th and like?
No, Lem's is on like 76th, like maybe a mile east of the Ryan.
Yeah.
East of the Ryan?
Yeah, east of the Ryan.
It's
Yeah,
a
I'm not
daytime
going
visit.
anywhere close to there. I'm not
So is
going
it
to
not-
Inglewood for a piece of caramel cake.
So it's
Sorry,
like
boy.
it's on the way to the Horseshoe Casino, right? Like if you're going by Torrance over there, kind of.
No, not even close.
Oh,
I mean, but it's
never
still on the south side. Yes, not even close. It is between the Dan Ryan and the lake. It is between there. You
No,
will
thank
run
you.
into it.
No, thank you.
James, number 4.
I will be more than happy to visit Evanston.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
Pita Inn is probably one of the most affordable places for Middle Eastern food. It started in Skokie. Now there's one in Glenview, one in Wheeling, one in Naperville. Some of the best hummus in the city of Chicago. You can eat like a king and walk out the door for $10. And I've been going there.
$10.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I haven't been there in like 15 years, but I do remember being that cheap, and I can't believe it's still that cheap.
I mean, now, to be fair, every restaurant has seen prices go up. I mean, food costs have gone up across the board. So Pita Inn's no exception, but it is still one of the best deals in town. And for Middle Eastern, I would take Pita Inn over Sultan's Market any day of the week.
That is good too, though. Sultan's Market is good.
Abe loves Sultan's Market.
I wouldn't go that far. It's not that. When's the last time? When have I ever talked about Sultan's Market?
Every time I ever went with you for Middle Eastern, we go to Sultan's Market. You gotta go to Sultan's Market.
I think that's my brother Sam. He's the one. He loved that.
No, I've been there with you.
Oh, all right. Well,
the thing
I'm
about
marking
making
these
lists
down in my Yelp.
The thing about these lists, and I see this all the time with music lists, like end of the year lists, people try to impress other people with the list they create. With music lists, it's so terrible. It's oh yeah, Taylor Swift, Radiohead, and the unheard demo that was released on SoundCloud by some dude in Billings, Montana. Literally no one has heard. Like, fuck all the way off. So with that in mind, I'm not trying to impress anybody. This is just top of mind stuff. I love diner food. Probably, I'm guessing all you guys do. I love a good Monte Cristo. I love a good patty melt. All of it. Bed of fries. There's nothing high end about it. There's nothing special about it. But oh my God, I love White Palace in Chicago on Canal.
White Palace is amazing.
I love it. Yep.
Yeah.
White Palace. I'll go there all the time. Well, I used to go there all the time. Not so much anymore. That I'm
Didn't they just have like a big fire? Wasn't there a thing there?
Well, someone was shot in front of there earlier this year.
Yeah, there's usually one time a year something happens.
What they like to call a hotbed.
Yeah, the yellow tape is usually there once a year.
Do you guys remember how amazing Tempo used to be?
Yeah.
Oh, it
used to be
staple.
You know, George Lucas I don't know if he still does, but he went to Tempo every day for lunch. George Lucas from Star Wars.
I have never been there sober before, so I couldn't tell you what it actually tasted like.
It used to be 24. Now they close early. It used to be we would go there every night, like after 3 a.m. It was the best. They had the best chicken salad sandwich. They have the best skillets.
I love a good skillet.
Yeah,
delicious.
By the way, for future reference, you don't need to tell us who George Lucas is.
I didn't know.
George Lucas from Star Wars.
No one reacted.
There's only a few names you can drop that we just all know.
Well, no one said anything, so I'm like, oh, I guess they don't know.
No,
from Star Wars.
No, because we all knew who he is. We all know who he is. Sorry, next time we'll go George Lucas.
You should have said, whoa, look here, Roker, say it. I'll show you what you should have done.
Okay.
Barack
George
Obama
Lucas,
from the White House.
You know, George Lucas used to go to Tempo every day for lunch.
What?
Yeah, George Lucas. You know, from Star Wars?
Yeah. Okay. No, you should have been more excited. All right, James, what's number 3 on the list?
From American.
Something I'm sure you probably already discussed this place. Johnny's is my favorite, hands down, Italian beef in the greater metro area. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we talked about it to death. The only problem with Johnny's, and speaking of prices that haven't really changed through the years, I mean, the menu hasn't changed. It's 2 things. It's sausage, beef, or Italian ice. It is the messiest food to eat, in a car or at an outside table, but you have no choice. You are committed to au jus on your clothing, on your forearms. There's just no way around it. Having that jardinera drip down your chest.
James, when was the last time you went to Johnny's?
Probably a month ago.
Okay, because they have the 10-inch beef sandwich now.
I'm a combo guy. I that's the way to go.
I'm a combo guy too. I always get combos.
They always had just one size. Now they have a bigger size, 10 inches. Yes. That also should have been a better reaction. Everyone should.
Whoa! Wait.
Whoa! 10 inches.
Wait,
now everybody's got 10 inches.
George Lucas? George Lucas?
Hey guys. No, Johnny's is delicious.
I have to admit, I was in the area just last week, and I was halfway between Johnny's and Gene and Jude's, and I went Gene and Jude's.
Which nothing wrong with Gene and Jude's, who I think have some of the most underrated French fries in all.
They have the best fries. They're unbelievable, and I can't eat a lot of fries.
I went the first time with JVO. I had never had Gene and Jude's my entire 24 years living here, and it lived up to the hype. It lived up to the hype.
Really good.
The depression dog, where you have to spend like 10 minutes actually getting to the hot dog. You have to ferret your way through the hot dog or the fries to get to the dog.
That's why you have to get a double. You have to get a double dog.
I always get double dogs. Always. You end up getting some fries, and you get the pepper in there with the fries.
Delicious.
As a surprise, there, it's fantastic.
And they have that delicious mustard they have. I think it's Coleman's mustard. It's really good.
So I'm intentionally avoiding things like pizza and hot dogs because too contentious, too easy for.
It's your list. You can do whatever you want.
Well, I'm trying to play along here. So I think Italian subs are underrated in Chicago. We have a lot of good options for Italian subs. I love Bari over on Grand Avenue.
Yeah. And D'Amato's right next door. Both delicious.
D'Amato's right next door. But the Italian with the hot jardinera is so good. And I mean, it's total counter service. You order at the deli counter, you ring it up, and then you walk out with it. But man, those subs are magnificent.
They are really good. I haven't been to Bari in a long time. I need to go back there.
In fact, that's Sub Row in Chicago. You have Bari, you have D'Amato's, you have Vinny's, you have Tempesta. They're all on Grand Avenue, all right next to each other. So if you love subs, that's like the spot to be.
It is.
Sub Row.
I think that's my
done a sub bang bang.
I've done that before.
Okay.
Because I lived in the West Loop, right? I live like blocks away from there. So I would go there all the time. I would get a sub at D'Amato's, and then I would get one at Bari to go. I'd pre-order one of them and then go on the other one. That way I had food for dinner and lunch. James, what is number 2 on the list?
I think I went through all 5, didn't I?
I think you went through 4. Hecky's,
White Palace Pita Inn, Johnny's, and
that's all 5. Oh, wow.
Oh, there we go.
And no reaction. There we go. This is
fantastic.
It's the dinner.
There has been a viral thing, I guess, happening lately with Italian beefs, where people are putting cheese sauce on it. Have you seen this?
I've never in Chicago or people in other parts of the country.
I guess it started in Portillo's, where people on TikTok started putting.
People have done that forever. That's not
forever. A cheesy beef is.
I've never done it. I've never done it.
Yeah, I saw you talking about it. Like it's weird. Chicago, especially Chicagoans, do this thing where they hold certain food behaviors as sacrosanct. You can't violate these things. You can't put cheese on Italian beef. You can't put ketchup on a hot dog, and it becomes this very sanctimonious stance. Who gives a fuck? Like if it tastes good, eat it. Like I don't like ketchup on a hot dog, but I don't berate those who do. I just don't care.
If I put mayo on a hot dog, I put whatever the hell I want on it.
I didn't say there was a controversy. I just said that people are starting to do this move. Would you guys be down for it? That's all.
Well, I put it on cheese sauce. I like having some mozzarella on it.
I put it on social media, and about 90% said no. I would never do a beef like that. It looked like a Philly cheesesteak to me, so I think it looks good.
It's cheese. Everyone loves cheese.
Yeah, cheese is my favorite.
Well, I grew up eating Tony's beef. My favorite beef place is Tony's Beef on 71st and Pulaski. And I grew up going to that place, and I'd always get cheese on it. Always. It was always beef and cheese. That was when I was a kid. Everyone did that.
Was it cheese sauce or was it
either one?
Actual cheese?
I would get the cheese sauce, but you could get mozzarella. You could get the cheese sauce, but I would get the cheese sauce. I would get giardiniera, and then I would get this continental sauce, which is like it's this mayo-y, mustardy stuff, and it was just like dripping, and that's my favorite beef sandwich.
Does anybody get red sauce with their Italian beef, or do you go
combo.
with the au jus?
If I do a combo of the beef and the sausage, I'll do the red sauce with the mozzarella and the sweet and hot peppers.
Do you, James? You do the red? I don't like the red.
Not that often. I don't mind it. I think
I just don't like. I don't like red sauce in general. Like that. Number one, it gives me heartburn. It's the only thing that gives me heartburn, and it's just not good. Like
Everything else gives you the shits. That gives you heartburn. So you stay away from that.
Yeah,
but everything else you don't mind.
Could you imagine if I was like, I was just thinking about this, like if I was single, right? If I went out with someone.
Oh, you're not single?
No, that's right. But honestly, like let's say I was. Could you imagine going out with a guy who immediately runs to the bathroom like while you're at dinner, and then I'm in there like 30 minutes? Like, how would that work out for me? Like, Kathy is just used to all this nonsense.
You have no problem doing it when you go out with dudes.
No, I know. I'm just saying though.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine you're a girl and you're with some dude and he's like, "Oh, I'll be right back," and then like 48 minutes later he comes back, like after,
and then starts eating again, like nothing happened.
Yeah, like starts over.
Yeah.
I think that is not as bad as being with that same dude. Let's say it's Abe, and you're driving around and suddenly Abe says, "Hang on, there's a Planet Fitness. I need to drop in there for a couple minutes." What, do you need to lift? No, I have a membership here in case I need to take a shit while I'm on the road.
You know, I used to do that, right? At Export.
That's yes. Oh,
That's why you
Export,
brought it
sorry.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's right. Wait, was I with you and I did that with you?
No, you spoke of it heroically.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I was going to say, Abe, it's not as
he's
if
very
you
proud.
kept this a secret.
That's the main reason why I went to Export, because they had so many locations and many times. And it was like, 2 a.m. we'd be leaving the leg room or something. And I'm like, hey, do you like James? How old is your son now?
22.
Does he go to like clubs and stuff like that?
God, no, not his thing at all. No.
Wait a minute. The son that we went to the VFW Hall wrestling with is 22.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh my God.
Huh?
That was a good night though.
But do kids go out to like clubs and stuff?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure the answer is yes. But I talked to a lot of like brewery owners and restaurant owners, and they're definitely seeing a significant decline in alcohol consumption. Maybe it's because weed's legal or whatever, but booze consumption is absolutely on the decline. Also, you're seeing the rise of NA beer, which is taking the place of alcohol for a lot of people. It's interesting. It's very different. I'm sure they do go to clubs, but I think their consumption behaviors are very different from what we remember.
Yeah, because I feel like kids today, they more just go out to like eat or something, right? Or like more of a sit down bar, and I guess maybe they drink and eat or something. Because like when I was young, we would go to like clubs. Remember, Broker? I know you know.
I don't drink and eat. I drink or I eat. That's not a thing. Something you do together. I never can understand when people like get Chinese food and then drink alcohol with it. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. It's
but
like
that was
I
also.
I
was going to say that was also like the early 2000s when clubs were a real thing. It's like asking somebody from the 70s. It's like asking someone in the 70s if they go to a disco. Like that was the thing in the early 2000s.
I mean, I remember Bass and I were at the Crowbar, and Brian Urlacher comes by with no shirt on. Remember that, Bass? He's with 2 girls, no shirt on, and then like Johnny Drama from Entourage was there. Like it was crazy.
It was really weird. It was
would go every Sunday. Do you guys remember every Sunday night the leg room? All the Bears were in there. They were all bartending.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just wondering what the scene is these days. Like I don't know what people do.
Shout out to Teddy for getting us in there. No cover charge or anything.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was great when you would know the guy at the door. Does that matter anymore? Knowing a guy at the door? Are there still?
I think it matters in all aspects of life. You got to know someone to be happy.
That is true. Like James and I, we went to see David Spade at the Vic, and I'm like, oh, he goes, hey, I know someone. Like it's nice to know someone.
Oh, wait a minute. So whenever you bust my ass about professional courtesy all the damn time.
That's a little bit different.
Bust my ass on that all the time.
When
Bass is like, oh, I know a guy. Yo, Bass is the greatest.
Well,
He's
hang on.
Greatest.
Let me explain the difference. Here's the difference.
Yeah, explain the difference.
James knows a guy means he'll put in a call beforehand and say, hey, can I get whatever? And they say, sure, here.
Which by the way, I almost never do. I hate doing that. That's not who I am. I just to be clear, I don't like doing that.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying
I'm already laughing at the wind-up of this entire breakdown. But
there's a difference between I've known people before. I'll be like, hey, can I have whatever? And they're like, sure, whatever. That's beforehand, it's all set up. Professional courtesy is when Roker goes to a bar, walks to the front of the line, and pulls out like a business card that he made on his computer and says,
no, I've never done that. It's always
legit. You guys do professional courtesy? And they're like,
legit.
And they're like, what the fuck is professional courtesy? And you're like, that's where you let me in for free, basically. I don't know what it means.
You never hit the shots you don't take. Right?
It's true. It's true, but it's so good.
But when you say professional courtesy, it just means let me in for free. Because you work in a completely different profession, radio. Like, what does that have to do with a bar?
It's professional courtesy.
But why? What does that mean?
It's professional courtesy. There you go.
But I don't get it.
Oh, so good. You're making tears come out of my eyes.
Hopefully you're not ever working the door.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, if someone asks for professional courtesy, you have to let them in, right? Now.
See, I would never see, I'm just the kind of guy, like I haven't seen a movie in like 7 years in a theater because I just refuse to go and see it play for a movie. I was just like, we stumble over free movie passes. It used to be, right? It was just like, I'm not going to pay to see a movie. I know I sound like a complete total asshole right now, but it's like, no, I'm not going to pay. Remember when you had to pay cover charges to get into bars? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, not you. You get professional courtesy.
Well, shit, I'm not paying a cover charge to go in and buy stuff. Is it Sam's Club or is it a bar?
You know what else was awesome when we worked at the Loop and they didn't give us free parking. You're like, I don't pay to go to work.
I don't. That's not the point. The point is you pay me to come here and work.
Oh, yeah, it is true though. Like we've all worked in radio so long that you do really become spoiled. I mean, it does become hard to pay for stuff, which is like, first world problem.
Yes and no. I mean, I still buy concert tickets. I don't do the professional courtesy that often. No disrespect to those who do.
But again, you're not doing professional courtesy. You're just calling a guy you know somebody, hey, can I get this happen? You're not going to the venue and marching up to the front of the line and showing a carne business card and going, can we do this?
Yeah. Do you do professional courtesy?
And the other thing is, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not going into clubs and bars alone and asking for professional courtesy.
You're doing it for you and Dan.
Myself.
You're doing it for you and Dan O.
I'm doing it for me and the person and the people who I'm with. Honest to God, to me, it's no fun if I can't help somebody get in or do something or go somewhere or whatever.
That's right.
That's it. It's altruism.
You're so giving.
No, but it's true. It's not like let me go out today and go into a bar by myself for free. No.
All right, fellas. Well, this was fun. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I want to do the bang bang. I want to do the bang bang with Roker. I want to do Lems and then the caramel cake, and then we can do it for free because
professional courtesy. Black people don't do that shit. Black business, no way.
Maybe we
that shit don't work with black business owners, by the way.
Yeah. We can call George Lucas and make this all one big happy party.
In fact, when you go there, Roker, they make you pay double, right? They're like professional courtesy. That'll be $50 to get in. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, that doesn't work when you're getting food anyway, period, because like their margins are like 1%. It's like it's a ridiculously like brutal business to be in. I know it's all glamorous on TV and shit and Top Chef and everything. And it's just like what I mean, and you know this, James. It's just like it's a brutal way to make a living.
Absolutely.
Professional courtesy is just for like clubs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So if anyone look at this is funny. Any club should be honored to have Roker in their establishment.
Absolutely. That is absolutely
100%.
Shout out to Josh.
Oh, Josh Kurbis.
Who would give me professional courtesy wherever he happened to be.
Well, but you're friends with him. That's different. That doesn't count. You're like Roker. If I owned a bar, you would get in all the time for free. It wouldn't even be a question. I'm not like, no, go wait in line. James, could you imagine, James, if I owned a bar and you came and I made you wait outside? Could you even fathom that happening?
I can't. It would be my last time visiting.
Of course. Like, Roker, Josh is your friend. That doesn't count. Professional courtesy.
I'm just saying, I'm just giving him a shout out because there were many times where he, would hook me up and put me in an area where I could bring the white women in and have a good time. Back in the day, in my younger days.
Yeah, exactly. Back in college. Back when you were in college, when you were hanging out.
It was in my 30s.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite was at the apartment when we would be in one of those the private rooms, and you would take the drinks out of some girl's hands and give it to someone else. Go, that's not for you. That's for you. That was my favorite out of all of them.
He would have all the Roker girls in there, and then he would be like, all right, that'll be $35 each. He would collect money from all the Roker girls.
Now that's professional courtesy.
I just assume they were drinking for free. You're like, all right, that'll be $35 each. We're about to pay.
So good.
Base's brother works security at the apartment, Roker. Do you remember that? His brother, John? I know you don't, because every time you would just ignore him.
Yeah, he would come down to you. You wouldn't even look at him.
Dude,
I don't know.
James, you're lucky I know what your name is, because I don't know. I don't even. If I hear a dude's name, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Okay, maybe it's a radio thing. I have the same issue. I think this is one of my biggest social shortcomings. Is I will try all the mnemonics like, oh hi, Base, nice to meet you. 2 seconds later, it's gone. That name never happened.
I'm the same way.
And I don't want to be like that. I really don't, but it never fails. And the worst is after you meet someone and then you run into them and they don't do the courtesy of, oh, hey, it's me, Base. Oh, Base, great to see you. And you have to kind of claw at your memory to figure out who that person is. Can we all agree, unless we're close with someone, if you see someone in public and you say hi, just say
who you are.
Hey, I'm James. Nice to see you.
This is why Claire is with me. Claire is not with me because she's my wife. Claire is with me to identify the people that we run into. She knows if I haven't said their name in the first 7 seconds.
I don't want to be like that.
I haven't introduced my wife. She will go, "Hi, I'm Dan's wife, Jill," and then I'll be like,
That's
"Oh,
perfect.
I know. I've known Base since. Oh, that's how I know him. Okay, good."
Yeah. Well, that's what you should do. If you have someone with you, you have to tell them, "Hey, when I see someone, can you introduce yourself?"
Yeah,
and then if they don't, but they still don't say their name sometimes. Like they just assume everyone, like, "Oh, hi, I'm Jill." Basically, like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?"
Jill, nice to meet you. Yeah, I've heard a lot about you. Anyway.
But then Jill has to say, "And what's your name?" And then they'll say the name, and as they're saying it, they'll be like, "John." I'll be like, "It's John."
And then I'll forget. And then I'll forget 10 minutes later.
Yep, exactly.
I ran into a dude. This is about a year ago. He's like, "Hey, James, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, how are you? Great to see you." He's like, "Do you remember me?" I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I can't place you." Dude, I was in your car. Now, again, as previously established at the beginning of this episode, I've done 1,000 of these fucking things. Right. With complete strangers 75% of the time. Like, I still don't. He's like, "Oh, okay." And didn't tell me his name after all that. Wow. You got to give it up.
But what if he was in your car for some other reason? Like, "Oh, I did that oil change," or something. Like, he didn't even really explain it. Like, we don't even know exactly why he was in your car.
Fair.
So if you want to check out James, Car Con Carne is a great podcast, 1,002 episodes, which is unbelievable.
was very cool.
It's just stubborn tenacity.
And you've been doing that for what, 13 years?
No, going on 11.
And the guy you started with, Mike Bratton, he did exactly what, one episode with you? Is that what it was?
Well, no, I think it was like 36. I actually broke all this down. I did an infographic about my
I
first
saw
1,000
that. I
episodes.
saw that.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm like, well,
It was
again,
36.
something that I would have never even had the numbers to even do.
I started keeping track about a year and a half in. I'm like, I better start organizing my thoughts and what happened, when and where, and dates and all that.
Do you
But I
ever bring
realized
him back on as the guy who started with you? Do you ever have him come on?
I had him come on once during the pandemic, and for either my 800th or 900th show when I had a whole bunch of people on.
Because I think I've made like 4 appearances.
We've all, yeah. I mean, I've done shows with all you guys, and I think we're overdue to do another one.
Yes.
We should do a real one
Definitely.
like in the car, like an actual.
Oh yeah, no, yes, I only want to do in-person stuff.
Is that what you're doing now? Just all in person now?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it makes more sense. I mean, for you, Abe, and for what you're doing here, virtual makes sense. But for me, I'd much rather be in person, have it that kind of relaxed in the car, just shooting the shit. That feels more comfortable for me. Also, after doing a year and a half of nonstop Zoom interviews, I'm done. Like, I think I have PTSD from doing all that.
What was the one you and I did? Was it at Maxwell Street where I brought the roll of paper towels?
I learned a lot about you that day.
I think that was my favorite one. Either that one or we went to Rickabenny's. Me, you, I think Base and Virgin.
And Virgin, yeah.
And Virgin. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right. Well, check out Kark and Carne. New episodes twice a week about?
Something like that. I mean, I released a 3-part episode 1000 this week as we're recording. So it's like 15 different artists and performers over 3 episodes. But generally, I average about 1.5 a week.
And by the way, James, congratulations on your 1000th episode.
Thank you.
And this is being recorded, which I meant to record something 2 months ago when you put that out. And I just completely
shit.
Yeah, it's like this gig is kicking my ass. I can barely make it to this show.
I get it. I got Gary Meyer.
There you go.
Roker, it's really hard to do this. Hey,
dude.
Hey,
I barely make it to this show. I barely make it to this show.
Hey, James, congratulations on 1,000 episodes.
I know.
All right.
I know. I'm saying
I didn't think twice about it.
Completely on me.
I didn't think twice about it. It's all good.
I know. It's fine. It's all good.
I didn't even know there was. I didn't even get asked to make a video. So you're one up. You're one up over me.
He's like,
I think it was just like a general ask. It was just like, oh yeah. By the way, I've got a 1000th episode. If you want to make a video, and I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely should make a video.
You could have done professional courtesy and made it.
I should have. I absolutely should.
2000th episode, JVO. We are there for you.
Which will be like in a year and a half. Yeah.
No problem. Yes.
Thanks, gentlemen, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next week. JVO, thank you again. Kark and Carne, check them out.